least amount of sewing. So this is what the masks look like. They have a wire at the top so that you can bend it around your nose, and a little elastic for the ear, and a pocket also to put in a filter if you have one that you can add later. So you can put the filter in there. Okay, so let's start. These are the items that you need to have the supplies. So you'll need to have material, 100% cotton, tightly woven material. Batiks work well. It's nice to have a light side and a dark side so that the wearer knows which side is the back and which is the front. You want a cutting mat so that you can measure and cut with a rotary cutter. You're going to need some clips or pins, and I've taken pipe cleaner and cut them in half for my wire. And then I have not been able to find elastic, so I have this round elastic, which I was able to find, and that's what we're going to use for this method until the other elastics come in, and a marker, an iron, and a little ironing mat with a sewing machine. Okay, the first thing you're going to want to do is cut from your stash of fabric. You can find some fun bright colors and some light colors, and you're going to cut 9 by 9. You could also do 8.5 by 8.5. It's just simplest to do it in a square. So you're going to cut, and then have it turned, and then you're going to do the same thing on the other side, and cut and cut. Okay, now you have two pieces. You're going to put them right sides together, and you're going to mark 3 inches from each end, and you could put it on a mat like this and just go in here, and you're going to mark like that. And then the next thing you're going to do is sew in. This is going to be your pocket. Okay, so what you're going to do is sew into where the mark is, and backspace, and clip it, and then you're also going to sew the bottom with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So that's what that's going to look like. And then after you've sewn this, you're going to open it up and finger press. So you're going to open this up like this. Like this. And then you're going to finger press it open. Like this. Okay, and then just line this up at the top. Right. Now we're going to take our 2 elastics. I've already put a knot in the end of each one. These are 7 inches long. So you can just put them on your mat, cut, and then cut them all the same length. This is the trickiest part. You're going to tuck this so that it's inside the tube with the knot hanging out from the edge, and clip it with your clip. So like that. And then you're going to put the other one down at the other end, and it's going to kind of pull, which is fine. And you're going to clip that like that. So that's what it's going to look like. Okay, so now we've got one that has both of them clipped. After you've clipped both sides, you're going to sew, you're going to kind of pull it out of the way and sew right along the edge. And you have to kind of keep it pulled out of the way with your hand like that, and you're going to sew all the way down and then remove the clips. And this is what it will look like after you have sewn it. Okay, so there'll be some give like that. Okay, so like to sew this up, you're going to pull this over the wire, the elastic, off to the edge with your finger, unclip, put that underneath the sewing machine, and you're going to start sewing. And I'm going to kind of push this out of the way so I don't accidentally sew that. We're going to go, okay, so you're going to go forward, and then back a couple times, elastic out of the way, and I'm gonna straighten it out. This is the trickiest part. Okay, so you're gonna pull it out. Okay, now I'm gonna go down toward the clip. Taking off the clip, here's my little knot. Back and forth. Take this and put outside out. And you're going to, I just poke the corners out with my finger. You could use a chopstick if you want. And now we've got the mask. Here's the inside, and this is the outside. And here's the pocket. So the pocket's in the inside. Okay, that's for if you want to put a filter in there at a later time. Okay, so the next step is to add the folds. So we've got the folds here. You want the folds going away from the top. So we start, this is a nice place to have it laying, because you can kind of have a guide to see if it's even. So I just like to eyeball it, so I'm just gonna make one fold. They're about 1 inch a piece. So you're gonna do one, and you can put in a pin to hold it, and then you're gonna do two, and then three. Okay. Okay, so the next thing I like to do, instead of pinning it to sew, I just press it really good. So I just do a press to keep the folds in place. And you can do some steam. And just make sure the edges are lined up. So now I'm going to go to the sewing machine without any pins, just to save time. I like to make it as quick as possible. Next thing before the sewing machine is adding the wire to go over the nose. And that's gonna just tuck right inside here where the fold is. So it's gonna tuck right in there. And you can kind of feel I don't even mark, I just feel for the center and kind of wiggle it around until it looks like it's in the middle. And you can measure that if you want. I just eyeball that. And then you clip this from moving around. So you can use one clip or 3 clips to kind of keep that in place. And on these wires, pipe cleaners, on the very tip, I just push it back on itself to keep it from being too sharp and poking through the material. So that's what I do with my wires. And I try to keep it really straight so it doesn't bend down into the sewing zone. Okay, so now we're gonna go right into sewing with this. So we're gonna line up the edge. And now we're going to turn, go forward, back, forward. Okay, so I'm just holding these folds in place. They've already been pressed. Now we're gonna go slow again over the folds. Turn. Okay, now we are up to where the wire is. So we're gonna go into where the wire starts, back, and then I like to turn and do a little back and forth to keep the wire from moving. Okay, and we're going to turn. And I'm just going to go right along the edge. I'm going to keep pushing the wire into the end. And go right along the edge. And I can feel it with my finger when I get there. I'm going to turn. Here's our finished product. We've got a wire at the top. We've got a pocket to put in a filter. These can go right in the laundry. They can go in the dryer, and when they come out of the dryer, you might want to just do a little press to get them back into a nice pleat, and they should be good to go. Thank you for listening.